add like 2 to 3 tablespoons of oil, what usually happens is that it gets a little bit too slippery, and then everything, it just won't hold its shape. Even this might be a little bit too much, so we'll just transfer it over there. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cook the pork belly. A lot of the fat is going to render, which is also why you don't want to add too much oil. See, even when you add the pork belly, you can see it makes a sail sound, right? At this point, we can add 3 pieces of shrimp, a little bit of onions. Turn the heat back on. I like setting my proteins on one side. That way, you know, when I flip it, it's a lot easier to navigate. Here we go. What we're gonna try to do at least is have a very nice thin layer. If you like yours a little bit thicker, you want to add a little bit more batter. I think right now the heat's on medium-high. Once the batter hits the pan, I would turn it down to a medium because you don't want to scorch the bottom. So at this point, I'm going to add the mung bean, a lot of it because I love mung bean, and then some bean sprouts. We are going to cover it so that 1, you're cooking the bottom, 2, you're essentially steaming the bean sprouts. I'd say we'll let that sit about a minute. In the meantime, let's repeat that process again with a second one. At home, we have at most 4 going at the same time just because you want to eat it fresh while it's still hot and crispy. Everything is stale. I think at most I can probably cook 4 at a time, but if you go to the street stalls in Vietnam, their setups is very crazy. You'll see like a man or a woman sitting with 12 like coal stoves with these skillets going on at the same time, and they're just constantly flipping. Ooh, sail, bánh sail. Add some more beans, some bean sprouts. And again, we're gonna bring this temperature down low. Let it cook. Let's check on this guy. You see the edges? It's starting to cook. It doesn't want to quite lift yet, which means it's not done. At this point, I like to increase the heat up by a tad. And this is where you add the excess oil to the edges. This is going to help crisp up the edges and the bottom. I'm just going to leave it uncovered, just so all the moisture evaporates, and we'll let it cook. My dad, he was the bánh xèo king in the family. My mom was more of the braiser. He was the king of all of the different rice cakes and crepes. Because it requires a lot of patience. My mom probably would have given up. She's like, make it yourself. You got to be careful too, because you see, I mean, as you can see here, the heat was a little bit too high, and so it's starting to brown, which is okay. Ooh, you hear that? At this point, it's a little bit soft, but I feel pretty good about it, so I'm going to flip it. Ooh, super sail. And you can see that there's a lot of residual oil and fat here, so I don't think I'm going to need any more. I'm just going to let it sit, turn the temperature down so that it'll slowly cook and not burn. Because what you're trying to go for is that nice golden color. While we're waiting for this to cook, let's work on the nước chấm, the dipping sauce. So here we're going to do 3 tablespoons of sugar. To that. Fish sauce. The idea is just to get the sugar dissolved. So I mean, at this point I can take it off the heat. We just need the sugar to dissolve, and then 1 big clove of garlic, minced, more or less to taste. Some Thai chili, bird's eye chili. I mean, these are green, but essentially carry the same heat. Okay. Mix that together. And now we add lime juice. That's a base recipe that I like to use just because I feel like it keeps everyone happy. For me, I like things a little bit more salty. My mom likes things a little sweeter. My sister likes things a little bit more tart. So you can make adjustments as to whichever way you want. Yes. Nước mắm chấm. Nước mắm means fish sauce. Chấm means dip. So it's like a fish sauce dipping sauce. Fish dipping sauce. As you're cooking this, you're just gonna have to figure out where your hot spot on the pan and on the stove is, and just kind of move it around and make sure that you're giving the edge enough time to fully crisp. So as you can see, this one right here, beautiful. I'm just going to bring this up just a little bit more, and while we're doing that, let's assemble our platters. What I have here, some green leaf lettuce. Normally I like using the Vietnamese shiso, which is also known as tieto. The leaves are purple. We have the mint. Voila. So you break one of these guys off. I'm going to use this spatula. Throw it in here. We're going to add some shiso. I like tearing it apart. Some mint. And look how cute this is. We're going to dip it. Oh, it's delicious. So